make things. We use our hands, minds, and machines to build, to fix, to improve. We're known as do-it-yourselfers, home improvement fans, fix-it fanatics, inventors. At our core, though, we're all makers. So let's jump in and make something.
Today's show is going to the gutters. You know, those troughs that hang on the edge of the roof. The ones you sometimes don't think much about. Well, as I discovered, an ignored gutter can lead to some real headaches. There's a happy ending though. I discovered how you can make these crucial waterways practically maintenance-free. Next, I'll share a great tip for hanging things on walls that you'll use again and again. And finally, I head to the south to help this family separate their kitchen and family room, that is, with handsome columns. You're gonna like what's in store.
In a heavy rainstorm, it's the gutter's job to collect and divert water away from the house. 2 inches of rain on a typical roof can send 1,000 gallons of water gushing into gutters and downspouts. Unfortunately, gutters also seem to be a magnet for falling leaves and debris. And that debris can thoroughly clog gutters, leaving the water no place to go except over the sides. And as I found out, a lot of water spilling over my gutters and collecting below can cause real problems. In my case, the cascading water filled my basement window wells, breaking the window glass. The result? A flooded basement, soaked carpeting, and a real mess to clean up. Now, I found out the hard way the kind of damage clogged gutters can cause. But there were some clues, even before my basement flooded, that a problem was developing.
Now here's a telltale sign that I've got a clogged gutter, and I don't even have to go out in the rain to see it. What's happening is the gutter is overflowing right up here. The water's coming down, hitting the ground, and then splashing all this dirt and mulch up on the side of the house. So to find the source of this, all I've got to do is look up. You see that debris on the side of the gutter and those streaks coming down? Those are watermarks. All evidence that that gutter is not working properly.
Gutter cleaning is pretty low tech, but this simple plastic scoop really does make it easier to remove leaves and twigs. The narrow profile fits all the way to the bottom, and pinching the top together gives me a grip on the debris as I'm removing it. Once the gutter is free of leaves, I use a garden hose to flush out the downspouts. With the heavy material gone, this gutter washer will remove any remaining bits and pieces. The extension handle allows me to do some of this work from the ground without the need for a ladder.
Well, my gutter is clean and the downspout is clear. That's the good news. The bad news is I'm going to be putting a whole lot of water right up here next to my foundation, and that's never a good idea. So what I want to do now is add something to the end of that downspout that will carry the water well away from the house.
A splash block like this, made of plastic or concrete, will carry downspout drainage a short distance from the foundation. Its main advantage is simple installation. This downspout extension replaces the bottom elbow. It's held on with a screw and includes a holding bracket. When it's time to mow the lawn or get the extension out of the way, it just folds up and snaps into place.
My downspouts are clear, and I'd like to keep them that way. There are 2 important things I need to do. First, put some kind of a strainer in the top of the downspout. This is a wire mesh type. This strainer, because it drains from the bottom, may be less subject to clogging. Now I know the best way to keep my gutters clean is to prevent debris from getting in there in the first place. Gutter guards are one option. They come in metal and plastic varieties, and they're available at any home improvement center. Quite honestly, I found these a little tricky to install. And if wet leaves were to collect on top, well, I think it could restrict the flow of water. So I'm going to check out another option.
I've come across a product called Gutter Cap. Here on the company's website, I get an idea of how it works. The cap completely covers the gutter, keeping leaves and debris out. Surface tension, though, causes water to flow over the cap lip and into the gutter. I've gotten the materials I'll need for the project, but since the company nearly always provides installation services for this product, I've decided to have the pros put it up. Art Plakowski starts by loosening the second row of shingles. Then he slips a metal edge underneath. And secures it with screws. While Art's doing that, Ivan Romanofak begins bending the cap sections to match the pitch of the roof. The bending complete, Art slips the cap into the metal edge. Snaps it onto the front rim of the gutter, and then screws it in place. In just a few weeks, Old Man Winter will arrive. And since I've had real problems in the past with icicles and ice damming, I've decided to add an additional feature to my gutter covers: a heater to melt the ice. An electrical heating cable is laid on top of the cap and concealed under a metal cover. Once it's in place, an end plate is cut to shape, set in position, and secured. Next, electrician Craig Zupka bores a hole through the outside wall and mounts a thermostat. Then he uncovers the circuit breaker box, knocks out a hole in the bottom, installs a section of conduit, and runs the wiring through to the outside. Craig then bores a hole near the bottom of the downspout. Pulls the heating cable out and slips on a piece of flexible conduit. Finally, he connects the conduit to the thermostat and sets the cover in place. Back inside, he installs the circuit breaker and puts the cover back on the breaker box. I test the gutter caps, and they seem to be working just like they're supposed to. This, and this should be a thing of the past for me. As far as I'm concerned, let it pour.
Once you've rolled a surface like this, come back and do what's called striking off. And that means to take your roller, begin at the top, and go all the way to the bottom, one long stroke like this. This will take out any roller marks and leave you with a smooth, clean, professional-looking surface. Now I want to hang this painting on the wall, and I could do it by stretching a wire across the back. This is just a canvas over a frame though, and whenever I've done that in the past, it tends to hang away from the wall at the top, and I want to avoid this. I want this to be completely flat. So I'm going to put it up using something called a cleat. Now I'm going to make my cleat out of a piece of 1x4 that I'm going to rip down the middle on a bevel. Now one half of this I'm going to attach to the wall like that. And then the other half I'm going to attach to the back of the painting. And the top piece will slip over the bottom like that. get captured by the bottom, and that painting's not going to go anywhere.
From a single piece of 1x4, I'll cut both cleats by setting my table saw blade at 45 degrees and ripping the board down the center. Back inside, I locate the wall studs using an electronic stud sensor. I screw the wall cleat into one stud. Place a level on top. Adjust. Then put in a second screw to hold the cleat in position. Next, I apply hot melt glue to the edge of the second cleat and press it into place on the inside of the frame. The adhesive bonds almost instantly.
Now, because the wall cleat is level, the picture will always be level, and I can move it left to right to center it over a piece of furniture or a section of wall. The Lou family of Durham, North Carolina wants some separation between their kitchen and family room, so I'm going to pay them a house call.
How are you?
How are you?
Just fine. How are you?
I'm Ron.
I'm Carter.
Hey, Carter.
Hi, I'm Jill. How
Jill?
do you do?
Hi, I'm Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. How you doing?
Good.
How you feeling about the project?
Excited?
Are you?
Yep.
Okay, you want to show me inside?
Sure.
Okay.
Come on in.
Space was the key issue when the Lou family built their home. They got a lot of it. But the wide openness of the kitchen/living room just seems a bit too roomy. Jill envisions a couple of columns from the floor to ceiling that would visually separate the two rooms, more than these mini walls. And she and the boys are ready to roll up their sleeves.
Okay, let's get some tools out of the truck then, all right?
Okay.
We'll build each column as a long hollow box with 4 sides made from plywood. A base on the bottom and a capital on the top will dress them up, along with a variety of trim molding.
Now, this is 3/4 inch birch plywood. This is what we're going to make our columns out of.
Okay.
But I'm having a little bit of a problem here. I'm not sure exactly how wide or thick these should be.
Well, we know our columns will run from floor to ceiling, but since we're uncertain of the proper width, we decide to make some patterns to help us visualize our
try one at
options.
12.
Aaron and Carter mark different column widths along the edge of the plywood,
This one was what?
then use a chalk line to connect the points.
You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, guys, we've got 4 widths here. What are they again?
12, 11, 10, and 9.
Okay. So what do you think? Can you tell from this which one would work better?
Not from this.
I can't either.
So the boys and I decide to cut out our patterns using the table saw.
Okay. You and Carter take this off and set it over there if you would.
With 2 fine apprentices on hand to help, the job is an easy one.
All right, so what do you think, Joe?
The panel of experts gathers inside to make the decision. Bill the dad joins us just in time to weigh in.
All right,
This is Ron.
Yeah, good to meet you.
We were just looking at some different column widths here. Well, what are your thoughts?
I think definitely toward the smaller end.
12, I'd say.
Since this is the entire family's project, the boys get a vote too.
All right, Carter, what about you?
I like the smaller ones.
With all in favor of the narrower width, we go back to the table saw and begin cutting wood. Very shortly, it's time to assemble. We apply glue to the edges of the plywood and then place the pieces together.
Okay, that's good, guys. Jill, could you set this up on top now?
Yes.
Okay. And Bill, if you can grab the nail gun. Okay. We want to use our finger to feel that this is flush here. Finger is more reliable than our eye, actually. Okay. So give me one nail right here.
Okay.
While Bill nails, Jill makes sure the boards remain flush. Carter and Aaron prove just as effective a team, wooden box and all. The columns will have a base, a thicker section at the bottom. But we're not sure what would be the best height, so the Lou's reconvene for discussion and opinion.
17 sounds good.
I like it. I think it's perfect.
With the vote in on the ideal base height, Jill and Bill take turns cutting 45-degree bevels on the base sides, so the raw edges in the plywood will be concealed. Glue is applied to the beveled edges, and then the sides are clamped together with an adjustable band clamp. Finally, the bases are nailed by parent-son teams and the clamps removed.
Now we're going to attach this column base to the floor with this wooden block or cleat. I've marked the position right here with this masking tape, and this will put the side of the column almost exactly 1 foot from the end of this wall. So let's attach this in place with some 6-penny finish nails. We'll slip this over the end.
The bases fit like sleeves around the columns, so it's easier for us to put them on from the side. A plastic mallet helps me get things in place without marring the wood.
Good. Okay, we're there. All right, Aaron, go down to that end of the column if you would. Okay?
Yep.
Let's lift it off. I'm going to set it down here over the cleat.
Okay.
Okay, stand it up. All the way up. Just walk toward me. Okay, good. Okay. There we go.
Things are certainly coming together nicely.
There we go.
Is it on?
Yep.
Excellent.
To secure the top of the column to the ceiling, we'll need to install another cleat similar to the one we attached to the floor. To locate the proper position, we temporarily slip on the column top, or capital, and clamp it in place. Aaron checks to make sure the column is plumb, while Bill traces around the inside of the capital. The resulting line will tell us exactly where to place our top cleat.
You can nail it up there. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, Joe, if you can put the clamp on down here.
With the top cleat in position, we clamp the capital back on
Okay, I'll put that in here.
and nail the fourth side in place. Then we nail the capital and the base to the cleats in the column.
Well, our columns are in. They look great, but a little on the plain side. So here's where we're going to have some fun. We're going to take a variety of decorative moldings and add a lot of detail and interest to these.
While I manned the saw, the whole family got into the act, really dressing up the columns with a variety of moldings on the corners, edges, and sides. As a finishing touch, I add a crown molding at the very top that complements the trim in the rest of the room. We finished up the project with a little family bonding over some primer and paint. I'll tell you, in the HouseCalls grade book, each one of these guys gets an A.
Now tell me the truth. Did you really think this morning we'd be able to build these ourselves?
No.
No.
No?
No.
No?
No.
I'm the only one who thought we could?
Pretty
I'm
much.
glad you guys didn't tell me beforehand. Thanks for
Thanks.
having me here. I'm going to head down the road now.
Thanks, Ron.
Find another family who needs columns.
Thank you very much.
Or maybe a coliseum.
Yeah.
All right. All the best to you guys.
Okay,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
working with me.
This ever happened to you? You start a painting job, you have to leave for whatever reason. When you come back, the masking tape just won't come off the surface without doing some damage. Well, here's an easy way to get it off. Use a hairdryer. Now hold the hairdryer just about 3 or 4 inches from the tape. The heat will soften the adhesive as you gently pull it off the wall. This technique will work on almost any kind of tape or label and remove it from wallpaper, painted finishes, or even furniture.
To view today's projects again, visit ronhazelton.com. Step-by-step home improvement tips when you need them. Let Ron show you how to do it yourself.